Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to AM News on Global Television. Coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja, I am Jumai Manson. Now, a quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Now, the news in full. The Federal High Court in Abuja has affirmed Senator Nnamdi Usman as the valid leader of the Labour Party, sacking Julius Abure as national chairman. Justice Peter Lifu, in his judgment, relied on the April 4, 2025 Supreme Court ruling to hold that Abure's tenure had expired and that Nnamdi-led caretaker committee was lawfully constituted out of necessity. And the court ordered the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to immediately recognize the Usman-led committee as a party's legitimate authority pending the conduct of a national convention. Chief of Air Staff Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar has called for speedy delivery of Italian-made M346 fighter jets ordered by Nigeria, saying the delay is affecting operational capacity. He made the call during an engagement with defense partners, stressing that the aircraft was critical to ongoing counterterrorism and air support missions. He noted that the jets will significantly enhance precision strikes, pilot training, and surveillance across flashpoints nationwide. Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Wadi Shaibu has assured Plateau State residents of sustained troop deployment to curb recurring attacks and restore lasting peace. He gave the assurance during an operational visit to the state where he met with commanders and community leaders. The Army says intelligence-led operation and interagency collaboration will be intensified to prevent further violence. Moving on now to the Nigerian Police Force has confirmed that an abduction occurred at Kurmi Wali community in Kajuru local government area of Kaduna State following initial confusion over the incident. Force Public Relations Officer CSP Benjamin Handain said police verified the abduction after conflicting accounts emerged during a Kaduna State Security Council meeting convened by Governor Ubasani, where some local representatives initially disputed the report. He said tactical units have since been deployed in collaboration with other security agencies to rescue the victims and restore calm in the area. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has begun a two-day capacity building workshop for staff of its Voter Education and Publicity Department in Kefi, Nasarawa State, aimed at improving strategic communication and monitoring of misinformation ahead of the 2027 general election. In a statement on its official X page, Deputy Director of Voter Education and Publicity, Mr. Wilfred Ifonga, who represented the Director, Mrs. Victoria Eti Messi, described the training as timely and relevant as the Commission continues preparations for electoral activities in 2026 and beyond. He also said although the program had been planned before the previous elections, operational demands had delayed it. Ifonga highlighted the challenges posed by emerging technologies and artificial intelligence in the speed of false information. The period between December and January usually comes with haze and dry winds, especially in northern parts of the country. The weather in Abuja is at present characterized by high temperatures, low humidity, dusty and hazy conditions due to the Harmattan. The city is currently experiencing mild heat in the afternoons and relative cold in the mornings. Zahra Nasir spoke with some Abuja residents on how they are coping with the weather and files in this report.
Weather changes, particularly abrupt shifts between seasons or extreme, unpredictable fluctuations, are well documented to come with significant physical and mental health challenges. These transitions stress the body's immune system, impact respiratory health, and can exacerbate chronic conditions. Abuja residents explain how they feel about the change in weather and how they also take care of themselves to avoid issues relating to the change in the weather condition.
I used to cover myself with my blanket. You know, as a single person, when there is in the morning there is cold, then that early morning around that time 5 o'clock, you have to cover yourself if you have blankets. That's how I take care of myself. As for me,
when the weather change, but I normally go and do checkup. I'll do a checkup, know what is wrong with me. If I whether or if my system change, I normally go and do checkup, then know what is wrong with me and give me some drugs to take. That's all.
I take care of myself and my family, my wife, my children. We're okay. When the weather is cold, then we off AC. You understand me? But when it's a bit somehow hot, then we on AC, cover ourselves with duvet. So we enjoy the sleep until NEPA take light. You know the country we are. So me, I like the weather.
Medical practitioners recommend taking precautionary measures such as wearing protective clothes and adjusting lifestyles to prevent illness, particularly protecting vulnerable groups like children, the elderly, and those with chronic conditions. Zahra Unasr, reporting for Global TV.
The Kwara State Governor has ordered the closure of Kwara State Polytechnic following protests by students over unresolved grievances. The directive was issued after security concerns were raised. Government officials say the closure is temporary and aimed at restoring calm. Lagos State Government has warned residents against using unsafe and untreated water sources, citing rising public health concerns. The warning was issued by the Ministry of Health following reports of waterborne diseases in some communities. Authorities urge residents to rely on approved water vendors and ensure proper water treatment at household level. Transportation remains a major challenge for residents of Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. Some inadequate public transport, raising transport fares and safety concerns. Many commuters say moving from one part of the city to another has become increasingly difficult. Global television correspondent Sadatu Garba tells us more.
For many residents of the Federal Capital Territory, daily movement has become a difficult task, especially for those who rely solely on public transport. Abuja, originally designed as a modern city with an organized transport system, is now grappling with the pressure of a rapid growing population. As more people settle in the city, the demand for efficient transportation continues to rise, yet available options remain limited. Commercial buses, taxis, ride-hailing services remain the primary means of movement for most people, but these services are often insufficient, irregular, or unaffordable.
The challenges we face on transportation, mostly sometimes, is during the night time, during nights. Especially during the rainy season, sometimes we used to have challenges because there's not much car on the road.
The transportation is crazy. And since generation of income have not increased greatly, you have a whole lot of challenge.
For workers, students, and business owners, many report frequent delays in getting to work, school, or business locations, affecting productivity and daily routines. Another major issue confronting commuters is the high cost of transportation. With rising fuel prices and weak fare regulation, transport charges vary widely, even on the same routes. Many residents say they are forced to spend a significant portion of their income on daily transportation. Safety concerns have also become a source of worry for commuters. Incidents involving unregistered taxi operators and one-chance criminals have made residents cautious, especially women and those commuting at odd hours. Citizens advise that measures such as modern parks and increased monitoring of transport operators would go a long way in improving safety, organization, and efficiency within the transport sector.
The challenges I think about most is, okay, I leave the house very, very early to go to my workplace, and the time I leave the house is quite risky because I leave the house as early as 4 a.m. and then by that time you don't see most cabs on the road. And again, well, I feel like there should be parks everywhere for wherever you're going. There should be parks where you go and you know that this place is safe. Whatever happens to you, they are responsible for it, and you know that.
As the city continues to expand, residents hope that long-term solutions will be implemented to ensure safe, affordable, and reliable movements across the Federal Capital Territory. Saratu Garba, reporting for Global Television.
You are watching the live broadcast of AM News, where AM News continues after the weather forecast, plus business and foreign and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us.
As we head into Thursday, here's what you need to know. The dust episode will continue, though at a slight intensity, affecting parts of Adamawa, Gombe, Bauchi, Plateau, Nasarawa, and parts of the northwest. Let's talk about the rainfall. During the morning hours, we expect thunderstorms to affect parts of Cross River, Akwa Ibom, and parts of Bayelsa State. While later in the day, especially by late afternoon, we will see a wider spread of thunderstorms extending to southern Ondo, Ogun, Lagos, Bayelsa, Cross River, and River State. And that's the weather outlook. Airline operators are advised to regularly consult the NIMET eFlight folder portal for latest weather updates to support safe and well-planned flight operations.
You're welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, this is AM News on Global Television. Thank you for staying with us. In business now, the World Bank has approved up to $12 million in performance-based funding for Nigerian states hosting internally displaced persons camps under the Solutions for the Internally Displaced and Host Communities project. Project documents approved in August 2025 indicate that states will access funds only after meeting strict data registration, governance, and integration benchmarks, with disbursements spread over 3 years and tied to independently verified results. The funding forms part of the broader $300 million concessional credit aimed at improving data quality, asset management, and long-term integration of displaced persons into host communities. The federal government has increased its January bond borrowing plan from 450 billion naira to 900 billion naira to fund budgetary obligations. The Debt Management Office announced the decision in Abuja, citing rising financial needs. Analysts warn that the move could further increase debt servicing pressure. The federal government says reforms in the livestock sector could contribute up to $74 billion to Nigeria's gross domestic product. Officials disclosed this during a policy briefing, highlighting plans to modernize ranching and improve animal health systems. The initiative is expected to boost food security and create jobs. On the foreign scene now, the United Nations has warned that severe flooding in Mozambique has escalated into humanitarian emergency, with more than 100 people killed nationwide since the rainy season began in October. Over 500,000 people have been affected, tens of thousands displaced, and critical infrastructure destroyed, severely hampering rescue and aid efforts, particularly in Maputo province. UNICEF said the floods, combined with disease risk and the onset of cyclone season, could trigger a deadly double crisis for children unless urgent intervention is scaled up. California Governor Gavin Newsom has urged European leaders to stop appeasing United States President Donald Trump, saying the president's tariff threats over Greenland are absurd. Speaking on the sidelines of the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, Newsom decried Europeans from what he called their complicity in failing to stand up to Donald Trump's demand that he would be allowed to buy or annex Greenland. Uyi Agbomofuegbe tells us more.
Newsom, a front-runner among Democratic candidates for president in 2028, told reporters at the World Economic Forum in Davos that Europeans were being played by Trump and that their efforts to negotiate with him are not diplomacy but sheer naivety. He has challenged Europe to avoid being seen as weak by the Trump administration.
He's insulting you, your country, European allies. What he's promoting is madness in Greenland, these tariffs. He can't take Greenland by military force. He could, but it's so overwhelmingly opposed in the United States, he's in a bit of a pickle. And so the European Union should hit him in the face and push back very aggressively. Fight fire with fire. Trump is weak. He's weakness masquerading as strength.
European leaders have been hesitant to risk an open rupture in ties with the U.S., which is a major trading partner and on which Europe relies for much of its security. A number of European leaders have vied for the role of Trump whisperer as they have sought to prevent him from withdrawing support for Ukraine or pulling out of NATO. However, Trump's demands that he be allowed to take over Greenland, which is a semi-autonomous territory of Denmark, and his threat to tariff European governments until the territory is given to him, have elicited confusion, anger, and proposals to retaliate by levying Europe's own tariffs against the United States. Uyi Agmofwegbe, reporting for Global TV News.
A Japanese court has sentenced to life imprisonment the man convicted of assassinating former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. The ruling was delivered after months of trial proceedings. Abe was killed during a campaign event in 2022. In sports now, Confederation of African Football (CAF) has named Nigeria's Victor Osimhen, Gavin Bassey, and Ademola Lookman in its best 11 of the 2025 African Cup of Nations. Osimhen scored 4 goals in 6 matches as Nigeria won bronze, while Lookman recorded the highest goal involvement with 3 goals and 4 assists, and Bassey anchored the defense with 3 clean sheets. CAF released a list on Wednesday dominated by players from Nigeria champions Senegal and runner-up Morocco. Nigeria's senior men handball team, the Golden Arrows, began their campaign at the 27th African Men's Handball Nations Cup on a winning note with a hard-fought 25-23 victory over Algeria in their opening Group A match in Kigali, Rwanda. The counter played at the Petite Stade saw Nigeria take early control and head into the break with 16-13 first half advantage, thanks to a disciplined defensive display and effective finishing in attack. Algeria mounted a strong fight back after the restart, closing the gap and testing Nigerians' resolve. But the Golden Arrows held firm in the closing minutes to secure a deserved 2 points at the end of regulation time. The United States opened a priority visa appointment system for holders of tickets to the 2026 FIFA World Cup, allowing fans to seek earlier appointments ahead of the tournament. The scheme will enable ticket holders to access prioritized visa slots before the competition begins on June 11th. The World Cup will be hosted by the U.S., Canada, and Mexico from June 11th to July 19th. The U.S. will host 78 of the 104 matches at the 2026 World Cup across 11 cities, including the final at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. World number 1 Carlos Alcaraz advanced to the 3rd round of the Australian Open after defeating Germany's Yannick Hanfmann in straight sets at Melbourne Park. The Spaniard, chasing a career Grand Slam, was joined in the next round by defending champion Aryna Sabalenka and American Coco Gauff, who both delivered the commanding performances. Daniil Medvedev also progressed after a 4-set battle, keeping alive his quest for a first Australian Open title. Now that's it on Global TV AM News. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen by using @GlobalTVNG. I am Jumai Manson. Thank you for watching. Up next is Global Morning. Good morning.